Hey everybody, this is Lisa Scott. Welcome to my channel, Permission to Live in the End. You don't know how excited I am to be back here doing a video. My family and I, we went away over the Thanksgiving holiday, and I wanted to do a video so bad, but you know, lots of people around, couldn't do a video, so I'm just happy to be back. And this channel is dedicated to Neville Goddard. So Neville Goddard was a mystic in his time, and Neville Goddard spoke a lot about, not just a lot about, but all about imagination. Our use of imagination and how we have the ability to manifest whatever it is that we want, that nothing is not possible. It's all about the imagination. And so I have been consciously manifesting since 12 years old. And I decided to create a channel where I just come and share all of my experiences. So welcome to Permission to Live in the End. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And what I want to talk about this evening, I'll probably split up into different parts because it might be a little bit of a long story. But I like to share practical examples of the types of things that Neville Goddard is talking about. So even though the stories I may share are pre-Neville Goddard, or a lot of them are, not all of them, but a lot of them are pre-Neville, I think Neville's point is that regardless of whether you knew he existed or not, or his teachings existed or not, this is the actuality of humanity. And so whether you know anything about his principles, his teachings, any of that, you are still functioning in that regard, whether you knew it or not. So just wanted to share that. And I would like to share a quote in the beginning to keep me on track. And this is a long quote, but you'll understand when I start to share what I have to share that there's many pieces within this quote, many nuggets within this quote that apply to the experience that I want to share with you. And the quote goes like this: chance or accident is not responsible for the things that happen to you, nor is predestined fate the author of your fortune or misfortune. Your subconscious impressions determine the conditions of your world. The subconscious is not selective. It is impersonal and no respecter of persons. The subconscious is not concerned with the truth or falsity of your feeling. It always accepts as true that which you feel to be true. Feeling is the assent of the subconscious to the truth of that which is declared to be true. Because of this quality of the subconscious, there is nothing impossible to man. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and feel as true, the subconscious can and must objectify. Your feelings create the pattern from which your world is fashioned, and a change of feeling is a change of pattern. A change of feeling is a change of pattern. I want to zoom in on that in particular while sharing a piece of this story that I have to share with you. And it has to do with a space and time where I had been working in one of my area's largest healthcare systems for I believe it was 3 years at this point, and I had been in various jobs. So I went from one job to the next, believing that what I was looking for was to make more money and to gain skills, which that was definitely true. However, there came a point where no matter how much money I was making, I was not happy. So the cue inside of my body was the feeling that I was having that I was not happy, and I needed to stop and become aware of what was going on. I don't know what it was about myself that I felt like I needed to become aware, but I did. And so a question arose inside of me at this particular time where I noticed it doesn't matter what job you go into, it doesn't matter how much money you're making, something is amiss here. Something needs to be paid attention to that I wasn't paying attention to. And the question that arose inside of me, everybody, is, what do you really want? What do you really want? You thought you wanted this, and you thought you wanted that, and you had those experiences, and come to find out, no, you didn't want this, and no, you didn't want that. And although you were grateful for those experiences, it was something else that I wanted at that particular time. So the day that I asked myself this question, I knew with all of my heart that I was going to go home, that I was going to allow myself a space and time to carve out this time to really hear from myself. And I came home, I went to my bedroom, I sat in my bedroom, and I allowed myself the opportunity to really hear what was going on. Hearing in this case was actually feeling, to really feel what was going on the inside. Now, at this time, I didn't know anything, like I said, about Neville Goddard, but I had the intuitive inclination that I was going to understand something that I had not previously understood for some reason. So I sat with myself and I closed my eyes and I allowed a space and time, and I promised myself that no matter how long it took, which it didn't end up taking long at all, but I did promise myself that no matter how long it took, I was going to allow myself to hear and to feel exactly what it was that I wanted at that space and time. So I went to my bedroom, sat, carved out that space, closed my eyes, and began to feel my way through the responses I was getting. And what's so funny about this is the body or the mind will offer you. So remember, my question was, what do you really want? And my mind started offering me suggestions to what I really wanted. But what I understood, again, intuitively, was that if it felt familiar to that specific space and time, I knew that that wasn't it. I knew that my body was used to some level of familiarity about what I had been doing over time. And so when that familiar feeling, no matter what the suggestion was that came, I knew, nope, that's not it. And so my mind went through kind of, let's just say, a slideshow with feeling associated with it, to answer the question, what do you really want? So I would get a suggestion and I would feel in my heart center, nope, that's not it. Then another, suggestion would come and I would feel, nope, that's not it. And then over time, as I allowed that space and time, here came the answer. I want to work part-time making full-time money. Because at that time I had started having my children and I wanted more time with them. And just everything that was, going on at that space and time, the answer that came, that I knew with all of my being, and I could feel my entire body light up from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, my entire being lit up with, you want to work part-time making full-time money. Ultimately, I did start to work part-time making full-time money. My point of this particular video is your feelings create the pattern from which your world is fashioned. And a change of feeling is a change of pattern. So I went from the familiar things that I was doing, going from one job to the next, believing that that's what I wanted, until something just gave me, or the discomfort that I started to feel. Like something's not right with this, or there's something deeper. There's a deeper understanding, and allowed myself to process that information. And when I did process the information and allow the space and time that I needed, the answer that was my reality at that point in time, because I want other things now, but the answer that was my reality at that space and time that I wanted with all of my being, and I could feel it from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, was, you want to work part-time making full-time money. And that was years ago. So we're talking part-time making full-time money based on, what was considered full-time money to me at that space and time, based on my lifestyle and all of that at that space. And guys, I did start working part-time making full-time money. So I just wanted to stop by and share that with you. I'm going to read the whole quote again, but the very last part of the quote that Neville talks about is what I wanted to pull out. And there's so many other nuggets in there, but I don't want to keep this video going too much longer. But as you listen to this video, listen to my story, you will gather the nuggets that you need to pay attention to based on this quote. Chance or accident is not responsible for the things that happen to you, nor is predestined fate the author of your fortune or misfortune. Your subconscious impressions determine the conditions of your world. The subconscious is not selective. It is impersonal and no respecter of persons. The subconscious is not concerned with the truth or falsity of your feeling. It always accepts as true that which you feel to be true. Feeling is the assent of the subconscious to the truth of that which is declared to be true. Because of this quality of the subconscious, there is nothing impossible to man. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and feel as true, the subconscious can and must objectify. Your feelings create the pattern from which your world is fashioned, and a change of feeling is a change of pattern. So just wanted to stop by and share that with you. Thank you again for visiting my channel, Permission to Live in the End. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I would love to hear your comments. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you put it below the video. I'll see you next time.